On February 8, 2019, acclaimed architect Evan Granger was found dead in the foundation pit of his own unfinished home. A minimalist mansion he had been designing for himself for nearly a decade. The site, just outside Aspen, Colorado, was surrounded by snow-covered hills and thick pine forest. His body was discovered by a contractor who arrived early to begin pouring concrete. Evan's skull was fractured, his spine broken. Cause of death: blunt force trauma from a fall, or a push, off the second floor into the exposed rebar. Police at first considered it an accident, the winter weather, an open stairwell, but inconsistencies emerged almost immediately. The security system had been disabled. His keys were found 30 feet away, and a single boot print, not his, was left on a wet plank near the ledge. Evan Granger wasn't just a local celebrity. He was internationally respected. His designs appeared in architectural journals and eco-luxury magazines. But he was also controversial, perfectionist, reclusive, and known for ruthless business fallouts. He had enemies. At the time of his death, he was involved in a legal dispute with his former protege, Isaac Bell, whom he had fired 6 months earlier after accusing him of stealing design plans. The lawsuit was messy, public, and still unresolved. On the night of Evan's death, his calendar showed a single late appointment, IB 9 p.m. Isaac denied they met, said Evan had summoned him several times, but he ignored it. His phone data, however, placed him within half a mile of the house at 8:57 p.m. When confronted, Isaac claimed he went there to talk, but no one answered. He said he left, but investigators found fresh tire tracks matching his Jeep, parked just beyond the camera range. His boots, a match for the print near the ledge. Then came the second suspect, Maya Everett, Evan's project manager, and, reportedly, former lover. She stood to inherit full creative control over Evan's last 3 designs, and he had recently removed her name from all of them. Texts recovered from her phone to a friend 3 nights before the fall read, "He's cutting me out. After everything, I swear if he screws me on this house, I'll bury him in it." Her fingerprints were found on the stair railing and on the shut-off box to the security system. Who killed Evan Granger? The man building his own sanctuary. Detectives focused on the timeline. The power to the security system had been cut at exactly 8:46 p.m., 14 minutes before Evan's appointment. This wasn't random, it was premeditated. The next discovery came from Evan's laptop, recovered from the site office. Forensic analysts recovered fragments of a draft email Evan had started at 7:52 p.m. It was addressed to his legal team and read, "Meeting with Isaac tonight, if anything happens." The sentence cut off mid-word. Nearby, they found a flash drive in a steel drawer. On it, a folder labeled "Protection." Inside, Evan had stored scanned legal documents, time-stamped photos of altered blueprints, and an audio file. The file was a recording of a conversation, angry, muffled, but distinct. It captured Maya and Evan arguing. Maya: "You said it was ours. All of it. You promised." Evan: "It was, until you went behind my back. I don't trust you anymore." Maya: "Then you'd better watch your back." With this, the investigators now had motive, threats, opportunity, and partial digital proof. Both Maya and Isaac were brought in simultaneously. They were placed in separate rooms, questioned for 9 hours, but neither confessed. Then a third name entered the case: Logan Haynes, Evan's structural engineer. Quiet, overlooked, and deeply familiar with every square inch of the home. His name hadn't appeared in the file. until an automated login from the home's digital schematic system pinged from Logan's IP address at 9:23 p.m. the night of the murder. He had never mentioned being there. Logan was brought in for questioning. He looked genuinely nervous, sweating, jittery, eyes darting between detectives. He admitted to being on the property but claimed it was to retrieve a forgotten tool bag from the previous day. He said he didn't see Evan, didn't speak to anyone, but his alibi quickly crumbled. Security logs showed no other entries into the site that week using his ID. And the tool bag? Still in his office at his firm. When detectives presented this, Logan shut down, asked for a lawyer, refused to speak. A search warrant was executed on Logan's apartment. There, buried in a drawer beneath rolls of blueprint paper, police found a burner phone. On it, text messages to an unknown number, discussing plans to stop Granger before Friday and complaints about being cut out after years of work. They also found an encrypted flash drive. After a week of digital forensics, they cracked the encryption. Inside, a folder named Proof. It contained confidential design files, ones only Evan should have had. Files with metadata showing last edit by LH detectives now had theft, motive, and evidence of intent. Then came the final break. Logan's gloves, found in his truck, were tested. On one, embedded in the fibers, were traces of blood and tiny flecks of concrete dust. DNA confirmed the blood was Evan's. Faced with the evidence, Logan confessed. He had gone there to confront Evan, not to kill him, he claimed, but to demand recognition for years of work he said Evan had stolen and erased. They argued. He pushed. Evan fell. He panicked, disabled the cameras, threw the keys and tried to cover his tracks. Logan Haynes was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, obstruction of justice, and corporate espionage. But the story didn't end in the courtroom. During trial, more came to light. Witnesses described Logan's growing paranoia. He had told a colleague just a month before the murder, "If Granger cuts me loose, I'll make sure he never builds again." The prosecution showed surveillance from a hardware store. Logan buying gloves and bolt cutters days before the murder. The jury deliberated for just under 6 hours, guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to 28 years in state prison. Maya Everett and Isaac Bell never faced charges, but their reputations in the architectural community never recovered. Both left Colorado within a year. In the months following the verdict, a documentary team arrived in Aspen to create a special for national broadcast. The town reluctantly participated. Evan's former clients and colleagues gave interviews, sharing memories, some reverent, others bitter. Evan's sister, Margaret, became a central figure in the production. She opened up Evan's journals, revealing sketches and notes he'd written in the final weeks before his death. They painted a portrait of a man growing increasingly distrustful, paranoid even, afraid someone was trying to steal everything from him. The show aired under the title House of Glass, The Murder of Evan Granger. It drew millions of viewers. A scholarship fund was created in Evan's name for young architects, but his legacy remains controversial. Some see him as a visionary. Others see him as a tyrant who sowed the seeds of his own destruction. The house was never finished. Evan's family had the skeleton of the mansion torn down. The pit where his body had been found was filled with gravel and sealed. Today the land sits empty, a field of white snow, still, silent, waiting.